What is up, guys? Team Yugi Phils here, and I'm bringing you an updated Salamangreat deck profile. It's not going to be excessively different than my last one, but it might be slightly different with a couple changes that I'm trying out. And going forwards, this is with the Battles of Legend Armageddon release as well, so I have some things in here to kind of counter cards that came out in that set. So we'll get into it, and I'll just showcase what I'm playing and some of the explanations behind it. So the Salad lineup is pretty standard. 2 Foxy, 2 Spinny, 1 Gazelle for our level 3s. I think that this is fairly standard for the most part. I don't see a lot of people playing different ratios. I just don't think that you need to be playing a lot of 3-ofs in this deck anymore. I think that 2-ofs are okay with the monsters. We have 2 Jack Jaguar and 1 Falco. These are our level 4s. They're probably in my opinion, I think they're better than a lot of the level 3s, like the Spinny and the Foxy. I think they're better just because of their effects in the graveyard. That's just really, really important. So I think that they are the superior ones outside of Gazelle. Then for our other Cybers cards that we play, we have Triple Debug and Triple Exceed. These are pretty essential in this deck. You want to be able to go into rank 4s and you want to be able to search out your other Salamangreat stuff. So playing the Debug and the Exceed is pretty important. And we have, for the hand trap portion of things, 3 Nibiru. That should be pretty obvious right now in this meta. Playing Nibiru is very, very important considering all the combo decks that are running around. So playing the triple Nibiru kind of just saves you with this deck because it's hard to bounce back from certain boards. Then we have just the most basic, best hand trap, which is Ash. You just have to play 3 Ash. There's no way around it. And then I play 2 Ghost Ogre. I really, really like Ghost Ogre. It's really good against Needle Fiber because, yes, they get to summon still, but their Needle Fiber is no longer on the field, which is just really good because then they can't go into Link Cross with it. So playing the double Ogre, in my opinion, is awesome. It helps in other situations too, but I always use the Halka Fiber X as an example. Those are the monsters, though. Moving on to the spell cards, we have 3 Signet Mining. You got to get those searches off for your Cybers monsters. It helps a whole lot. We have 3 Will of the Salamangreat. I think that you just have to play 3 of this card all the time. It's Soul Charge. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't play 3 Soul Charge. The card's just insane. It's just insane. You always want to see the card. Then we have 1 Circle and 1 Sanctuary. Obviously, Circle's at 1, so you can only play 1, and then Sanctuary, nobody ever plays more than 1. You just play the 1, and that's it. And if you banish it off Desires, then oh well. Speaking of Desires, we do play Triple Desires in this deck. Triple Desires does not hurt our consistency at all. Everyone thinks, oh, we're playing a lot of 2-ofs. Doesn't that get rid of a lot of the 2-ofs? Ironically enough, it doesn't. And on top of that, you really only need to see 1 of each of the 2-ofs, if that, because you can do your combo for Access Code Talk or OTK in so many different ways. So it's okay to play Triple Desires. It does not hurt your consistency. It actually helps your consistency. That way you could see the cards that you need. Those are all the spells, though. Moving on to the traps. We have Triple Impermanence. Technically, this does go with the hand traps, but I'm going to put it with the actual traps because I think that setting it is also really good. It's awesome against your opponent's Halka Fibrax because they try and drop it, and then they don't get the summon from deck, and then they're forced into a Link Cross play or something else that kind of like hurts them. So playing the Imperm kind of slows your opponent down, which is exactly what you want to do. Then we have 2 Roar and 2 Rage. I've always been an advocate of playing 2 of each of this card. I just think that it's too good not to play both of them. And my theory with the deck is that a lot of 2-ofs are okay because if you banish 1 copy, that's fine because you still have the other. So I don't want to banish a 1-of Rage or a 1-of Roar. I'd rather banish 1 of a 2-of each of them, which is obviously what you want to do with Desires. You don't want to banish all of 1 card. But that is the main deck. We will move on to the extra deck now. Extra deck, for the most part, is pretty standard. I don't think there's anything like really wacky or weird in here, but I'll run through it. So we have triple Baylinks. That's kind of obvious. You really just want to play 3 of this. Protects and searches. We have the triple Sunlight Wolf. 3 Sunlight Wolf is really good. I also really like that they made this an ultra rare in Battles of Legend. I think that's awesome. Don't get me wrong, I really like OTS supers, but I think ultra rares are quickly becoming my favorite rarity. Then I play 2 Heat Leo. Heat Leo is just overall really, really good for multiple reasons. Obviously, the getting rid of back row is awesome, but his attack change is really significant in some matchups because it's hard for like this deck to beat over certain attack points. So playing the double Heat Leo is awesome. Then we play a Lingeribo, a Splash Mage, an Update Jammer, a Transcode, and an Access Code. I think that this is like the most generic lineup for like Cybers monsters, basically. I opted to cut the Hida. There was a card that I wanted to play over the Hida, so I opted to cut it, and I went with these cards instead, and I'm really enjoying it, so we'll stick with those for now. And then our rank 4 Xyz monsters, I do play 2 of them. The first one is pretty obvious, that would be Abyss Dweller, and I'm still playing the Baguska. I'm 50-50 on whether I want to play it or not. I think it's really good. If you were to swap it, I'd probably say toss in like a Tornado Dragon or something, but honestly, I think that the Baguska is pretty solid. The only thing that like my argument will go towards playing a Tornado Dragon is that the Numeron Field Center, once they activate it, you can just chain the Tornado Dragon and pop it, and then they don't get the abilities of that, which is awesome. But you can play Baguska, Tornado Dragon, or any other rank 4 that you like to play. That is the extra deck, though. We'll move on to the side deck. The side deck has some pretty neat and important stuff. We have Triple Lancia. This is just a crazy card right now against so many different decks. I really am a firm advocate of this card being played in every single side deck right now that can fit hand traps into it. It's just too good not to be playing. Then we have Triple Cosmic Cyclone for pesky back row. Obviously, this deck can partially deal with back row through Heat Leo, which is really nice, but you still want to have more ways to play around it, and what better way than Cosmic Cyclone? Then this is for the Numeron engine. We play Triple Forbidden Chalice. So the idea behind Chalice is that when they go to activate their Utopic Zexal or whatever it is, you just chain the Chalice and then the effects are negated and you don't have to like worry about it. So Chalice is a really good side deck card coming up. Then I play Triple Evenly Matched to get rid of anything that I could possibly need to get rid of on my opponent's board, and it definitely does come in handy. Helps out a whole lot, so Evenly is fully worth it. And then in case we know that we're going to go first, I like to go with Summon Limit. A lot of people go with Gozen. I don't think Gozen is as good as Summon Limit, because with Gozen, like if you're playing against rocks, you're not going to hurt them at all because a lot of their stuff is all earth, so they can just play around your board and just deal a bunch of damage. Whereas Summon Limit, they get to summon 2 cards, which is basically before they even can make their Halqifibrax, which really hurts them. So I think that playing the Summon Limit is definitely worth it. The card is just way too good, and you don't have to worry about excessively summoning in Salamangreat, because like all of your plays that you're going to summon, if you summon a Jack Jaguar, your opponent may not be able to beat over it, and if you went first, you've already established a board, so you can make a bigger attack point monster as it is, and your opponent really can't do anything about it. So I would fully recommend playing Summon Limit over Gozen Match. If you want to play the Gozen, go for it, but I just don't think it's as good. However, that is the last set of cards in the side deck, so that wraps up our deck profile with the main extra on the side. It's a very good deck still, I think. I wouldn't say it's like, I'd put it at like tier 1.5. It'll definitely compete, and you'll see it probably make every single top cut just because of how consistent it is. That's what's really like been good about Salad, is that it's so consistent that it just continually does like the same thing over and over again. But I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to let me think what you think in the comment section down below. And this is Team Yugi Fails signing out.